Hey Patriots, I'm Tom, your host for this week's Inside A-Town. This week, we'll look at how the season's shaping up for the varsity field hockey squad. And we'll take a few minutes to get to know one of our teachers in the first AHS Teacher Report. But we'll start this week with big news about an R&B legend giving AHS students a chance to impact their community. This week, we'll take you inside the Team 19 classroom for the story.
Over the summer, we found out that our classroom had been selected to participate in a grant opportunity. And at first we didn't know that John Legend was involved, but folks from downtown had written this grant, and we found out that we had gotten it, and then we learned that John Legend was the funder of the program. And then recently we found out that he had recorded this message for us in particular, for the students of Charlottesville and Albemarle County. And so we were very excited to be able to participate in that part of the program as well.
Basically, it was important to the National Writing Project that students are experiencing lots of opportunities and ways to write and share what they're writing. And they teamed up with John Legend, and it's important for him that when you guys are in social studies and English class, that you're applying what you're learning to the real world. And so that's what the grant was about. How can we write and share and create something that's relevant to what's happening in Charlottesville right now?
He said in the video he's heard about what's happened around Charlottesville and what's happening in Charlottesville. I think he just wants to try to help as much as he can.
You know, we live quite close to downtown, and that's basically where all the bad things happened. I feel like talking to us would be a clear reason to, you know, start working with us, because people need to remember and not forget about it and know that it happened and something you just can't erase.
And this has kind of come from some of the controversies recently around how we think about history and how we think about memorials. And we really want to put students in the place of speaking to the rest of the community about how we can use these kinds of conversations to bring us together instead of dividing us. We believe really strongly that this generation, that our students here at Albemarle County, are some of the best people to be able to speak to what we as adults and we as citizens of this place can do to sort of get along in a different way.
But I think it's good for kids at this young age to be talking about this. It's a very serious topic and it should be taken very seriously.
I don't know, I think like the more high school, like our generation is a lot more like open-eyed, I guess you can say. It's like we don't look at one thing and try to like go with that. We try to look at all the options and see what is best for it.
One thing that the students really seemed to respond to was the fact that this is their opportunity to voice their opinions without teachers, without their parents telling them this is what you should believe, but just giving them a space to think about what do I believe and what is my voice, talking with other young people to try to figure that out, and then having a platform to speak to the wider community, to the adults in their life, and to everybody else about this is what we think as a generation and this is our opinion. And that seemed to be really powerful to them and speak to them.
With the whole John Lennon thing, I had an idea of doing like kind of an informational, like narrative film type thing with the like situation with the statues and what's going on in Charlottesville and just the importance of them and why they're there.
Yeah, I actually wanted to write a song for it, and it was like supposed to be like this multi-part thing that's kind of grand, but has a big message, and I'm working on it now currently.
This is going to be something that we're working on throughout the year, so we're going to start off with doing a research of the current state. So we're going to take a field trip and look at some of the existing memorials, not just physical memorials, but also ones that are more digital or even film in some ways can be used as a memorial of the past. And then we're going to start to think about, all right, what are our ideas? What do we think that we could do differently or better than what's already there? And we'll start to put things into play and practice in the second semester of this school year. So hopefully certainly by May, we'll have some completed projects that we can share out with the larger community.
This week, WPAT's Delaney White visited with Coach Britt McCallany and two of our field hockey captains to get a preview of the season. Here's this week's Patriot Report.
J.E. on the button. J.E. on the button.
Hi, I'm Delaney, and on this week's Patriot Report, we're interviewing Coach McElhaney, the varsity field hockey coach. When does the field hockey season really start?
The field hockey season really started this year, the week after school ended last year. So we ended on a Friday, and the following Wednesday we started at 7 a.m.
This year we actually had a summer camp where a lot of the girls came out for 3 days and we all played field hockey together, meshed a little bit better, bonded. And we also had conditioning every Wednesday where we would come out and just like run up and down the field and maybe go in the weight room some and just like not only get more unified as a team but also like stronger and more fit too.
This year we have a lot of leaders, but in different ways. So we have 10 seniors, but not all have played a vital role in the season before. But this year we need all 10 to be on top, and we have Morgan Rose, Kat Bianchetto, Abby Maestro, and Nyla Lewis as our 4 captains.
We graduated 11 seniors last year, so it's a pretty new team. We've got a lot of new bodies on the field, but we've been working really hard, like outside of practice, in practice, to mesh really well, and I think that's a big strength this year, how well we've been meshing.
That's great. How is this season's team different than last season's team?
Last season we had 11 seniors, and the group of girls that we have this year, and they had all played together for about 3-4 years. This year it's truly the first time this group of girls has ever been on the field together. So we're kind of starting over even though we have 10 seniors.
Yeah, I'd definitely say that she's like not the type of coach that will let you just mess around, but she does have a good sense of humor too, so there's a good balance there. And she's definitely one of my all-time favorite coaches. She really pushes me to like get better at the sport and not only improve on my skills but like my confidence too.
Is there a specific attitude you try and instill into your athletes?
They will probably hear me say never give up, probably about 7 or 8 times a day, if not more. But the philosophy that we really like to try and instill is whatever you do on the field in practice is going to be how you perform in a game, so don't let you have a game day attitude that doesn't come out in practice. Be consistent all the time.
I think this season we're looking to come back like we did last year. We had a great season last year, but to go further in playoffs, I think that's what we're really hoping for.
We're starting to mesh, and we can talk to each other just like sisters off the field, but on the field I think that we need to learn where each other are better, and I think that we're on the road to that. We've changed our lineup a few times and our positioning, and we're really figuring out what's working, and so I think that we'll be better in no time.
Thank you for watching this week's Patriot Report, and thank you to Coach McElhaney and all the field hockey girls. Good luck this season.
Thank you.
J.E. on the button.
Like every year at AHS, there are plenty of new faces around the halls. Ayana sat down with one of our new teachers in the first installment of the Teacher Report.
I'm Ayana. This is our first new teacher profile, and today I'm talking to Miss Peters. So what are you teaching here at AHS this year?
I teach ESOL here at AHS, so I teach ESOL 3 in an ESOL Study Skills class and an ESOL Social Studies class. And then I also teach, I collaborate with Miss Christie for ESOL Ecology, and then I also teach Ethnic Studies.
What drew you to that content area?
Well, actually in high school I kind of like really hated all of my social studies classes. So I decided to teach social studies to kind of make it more fun because I liked history. And then when I was at school at Penn State, I took an introductory class for teaching English to speakers of other languages, and I loved it. I got to tutor people from all over. And so I just really enjoy teaching ESOL because I'm actually learning a lot from my students rather than the other way around, so that's a lot of fun.
And can you tell us about some of the places you've taught before AHS?
So this is my very first teaching job. So this is the first place I've taught yet. But I did teach in Ecuador for a little bit. I taught English to students at a university there. And I also taught social studies, mostly U.S. history, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
And what do you do outside of school? Any hobbies?
I'd like to say I like do things, but that would be lying. I really like movies and books, so I do a lot of like TV watching and book reading. Big college football fan, kind of have to be at Penn State. So they play this weekend. I'm going back to Penn State. next weekend to watch the pit game, so I'm really excited for that.
What were you like in high school? Were you in any clubs? Did you play any sports?
Yeah, I played field hockey. I tried track and soccer as well, but I wasn't as good at those, so I stuck with field hockey. And I was basically just kind of like in every club I could be in, basically any club, any honor society. But I wasn't just in them. Like I'd try to run for like treasurer and president. Like I spent most of my time at school. I really liked it.
What's on your Spotify playlist?
Oh, Spotify playlist. I'd say it's predominantly like 2 different genres. So I've got like angsty teen music. So like a lot of The Clash, like from all different decades, all the way up to like Panic at the Disco and things like that. And then my other one's mostly just Broadway show tunes. So like Dear Evan Hansen and Hamilton and things like that.
And what's the last TV show you binge watched?
The Office. Yeah, for like the 8th time.
Welcome to Albemarle High School. It's great to have you here.
Thanks, great to be here.
Thanks for checking in with us this week. We'll be back soon with more stories of what's happening inside A-Town.